raw movie, right? You watch a friend trying to learn how to deal with the impending death of his own friend.
Yeah.
Did you feel those things when he called you? What was the scenario where you take the phone call and you know, here?
The actual scenario was ridiculous. So ridiculous we couldn't put it in the movie. But so first, my friend Dave called me and said, Will has cancer. Don't tell him I told you. And then he hung up. And I was like, what? What does that mean? And so I just knew Will was going to call me at some point to tell me this, because we knew there was something wrong with him. He was sick for, he just was always sick. And then I literally was taking a poo on the toilet. And
thank you for telling us where, in case it wasn't there.
It was. And my phone rang, and it was Will. And I knew it was Will telling me he had cancer, and so I couldn't not answer it. And so I literally, A, had to pretend I wasn't on the toilet taking a poo, and B, had to pretend that I hadn't just been told 10 minutes earlier by another one of our friends that Will had cancer. So the whole time I'm literally sitting there like, oh, really? You have cancer? Oh, that's so messed up. But I knew already, and I literally, vividly remember, sitting there being like, why am I here? And that's what was so sick at the time. Is I was pitying myself in the situation is what's really funny in retrospect. Is oh, yeah, Will has cancer, but I'm the one on the toilet who has to deal with it. What
did you learn about yourself during that process as a friend?
That I'm not very emotionally connected to my friends at times, and that none of us really talked about how we felt at all. I mean, that's what was really interesting, is in writing the movie, we all had to kind of acknowledge what we did do and what we didn't do in order to make the characters well-rounded, and we all realized, there was no moment where any of us really, looked at each other and were like, this is crazy, we should talk about this. I'm here for you, man. You ever need to talk, you can call me. That, never happened. I literally remember, the conversations were more if we called Make-A-Wish, are you too old to get a wish? And, what's the craziest wish? Could we go to Amsterdam? Would they sell all of us to Amsterdam? Is that acceptable? What could we do as a wish? Those were the conversations we'd have. It was never serious. It was always, the most ridiculous version of what you would imagine those conversations were.
Do you think that was, a male bonding mechanism with which to survive?
It was totally to avoid just actually talking about how horrifying it was that he was going through this, and that he was our friend, and that he could die, and that it literally meant it could happen to anybody in a strange sense also, I mean, it kind of made no one feel safe in a way, And yeah, we literally just never talked about that as it was happening. And then as we were writing the movie, we were like, yeah, I guess that is what we were all thinking. But no one articulated it to anybody.